So you want to grow your 90-day total on eBay beyond average to something spectacular? Step number one, stop being average.
Alrighty.
You have a 1 in 300,000 chance of being struck by lightning. The chances that you will win the lottery are even more than that at 1 in 3.5 million. That is nearly the population of Los Angeles. The chances that you would be attacked by a shark are even more than that at 1 in 5 million. If you feel like those numbers are high, then I have a number that is about to blow your mind. In a 2011 TED Talk, Mel Robbins revealed that scientists claim the chance of you being born exactly as who you are today is 1 in, get this, 400 trillion. Try to wrap your mind around that number for just a minute. 1 in 400 trillion. Basically, the odds of being you are nearly impossible. The odds of you being born are miraculous. There are nearly 7.8 billion people in this world, and there is not one other person that is you. In case you're still feeling average or you're still feeling like just another face in the crowd, just imagine with me for a moment that tomorrow morning, instead of you waking up with your family and walking into the kitchen, that someone else impersonates you. Imagine someone else dining with your family, showing up at work as you, driving your car as you, tucking in your kids at night as you, and imagine them getting away with it. There's not a chance. There is not a chance that they're going to fool the people in your life who know you. That is because no one else is you. No one else can bring to this world, can bring to your life what you bring to your life. You have a secret sauce that nobody else has, all right? So stop feeling average and realize that there is no one like you. You bring a uniqueness and a boldness into your life and your business that absolutely no one else can. And that doesn't stop with your reselling business. If the fact that you were born, the fact that you exist is basically a miracle, we've decided, then you are not average. You were not born average. Why would you start now? I woke up one day and decided that I needed my business to stop being average. If I'm not average and I know that I'm worth more than what I'm currently paying myself, it was time to take my store off of autopilot, shoot for the stars, and aim at something so much greater than what I had ever been able to accomplish in my eBay before. It was time to challenge myself to grow. I'm here to tell you I understand there is nothing average about growing your gross sales by nearly 3 times in a 90-day period. And I'm also here to tell you that the process to get there is not average either. Are you ready for this? To fully wrap our brains around everything that we're going to be discussing, I want to discuss with you guys the numbers that you saw in the thumbnail. In case you haven't seen the difference in my 90-day total from July 22nd, this is what my 90-day total looks like. I was sitting just at $6,205.45 in gross sales over a 90-day period. That is nothing to laugh at, and I was certainly proud of that number. That number indicated my hard work, but I knew it was not what I was capable of. I had 938 listings and 188 items sold within that 90-day period. That is a 20% sell-through rate, and I knew for a fact that I could grow that sell-through rate into something better. Fast forward 3 months later to October 22nd, where my gross sales 90-day total on eBay was $14,430 with 1,374 active listings and 449 items sold within that 90-day period. That raised my sell-through rate to 33%. Let's talk for a second about how those numbers actually increased. I was able to increase my gross sales $8,224.55. I grew my active listings by 436 listings. And my number of sales grew by 261 additional sales in a 90-day period. I raised my sell-through rate by 13%. Now, growing your active listings by 436 does not mean adding 436 items. There were other items that sold on platforms, there were items that I took off, and there were items that sold. Simply adding the 436 additional listings with the 261 additional sold meant that I had to add 697 additional listings. Now, if we want to add about 50 or so more for items that sold on other platforms, items that were taken off, we're talking about 747 listings additional that needed to be added over a 90-day period. That meant that I needed to list an average of 8.5 items a day in addition to the items I was already listing. So if you're currently listing 10 items, that would be the equivalent of you listing 19 items every day in order to really increase your store to this level. So with step 1 being stop being average, step 2 is absolutely get busy listing. The original idea that I had was to trade in my death pile and that unlisted stack of inventory for a car. I knew that I needed a car, and the goal was somewhere between $10,000 and $15,000 to be able to spend to buy a car with cash. And I knew I had all of this unlisted inventory. Why not just trade that in for a car? So I endeavored for the first 3 weeks to list 50 items a day. You guys, listing 50 items a day every single day is no small task. If you've ever had one day where you listed 50 items, you wake up the next day and maybe you want to list 5, but to wake up the next day and know I need to list 50 more items, and the day after that I need to list 50 more items, and on day 18 I need to list 50 items. I'm not going to tell you that every single day I hit 50 on the nose, but that was my goal. And it meant staying up until almost 2 a.m. nightly in order to accomplish everything else I needed to do throughout the day. But it was important to me. It was important enough that I absolutely wanted to get it done. So create a listing goal that is non-negotiable for you, and do not create a listing goal that is comfortable. I've spoken to lots of people during this process of growing my store, especially in these initial 90 days, who would offer advice to other people and say, you don't have to list 50 items, list what is comfortable for you. Listing what was comfortable for me got me this number. Listing what was way beyond my comfort zone got me this number. I'm inclined to believe that if you clicked on this video, you're more interested in this number. So stop listing a comfortable number and go after something crazy. I promise you, you're going to learn so much about your own business. You're going to jumpstart your store in a way that you will start to look at it more as a business, and you will start treating your business like your business. By August 25th, just 1 month in, I had already grown my store by leaps and bounds. My gross sales went to $8,929.57, and my listings were at 1,336 items. Now, during that first month, I aimed at 50 items a day for the first 3 weeks, and on week 4, I did something crazy. I went on vacation. Now, does going on vacation mean that your store goes to sleep and that your business closes? Absolutely not. I'm going to link below in the description exactly what I did to ensure that my sales during vacation were just as stellar as they had been those 3 weeks leading up to that. I had not worked this hard and came this far to only come this far, and you haven't either. Life is going to happen. Vacation's going to happen. I recently heard Daily Refinement say that creating a draft bank was the equivalent of setting aside vacation days for your business. And that is the best way that I could ever describe it to you. I was able to take that week off, and I actually made more in sales that week that my family was at Disney World and Legoland and enjoying Orlando, Florida, than I had the week prior. You guys, if I can take a vacation and know that my store is a-okay, then I realize I truly am in the right business. So the video about exactly what I did on vacation mode is in the description. It's one you'll want to add to your watch later list, and check that out when you're able. Step number 3 in growing your 90-day total over on eBay is to sell stuff. It seems too simple, right? But that is the truth. Your goal is not to list stuff. It is absolutely to sell stuff. So run sales, promote your listings, accept offers, make offers, and lower the price on your inventory if that needs to happen. I think we can all agree that sourcing is the most fun part of this job. There are a few people that think that listing is more fun than sourcing, but I, for one, think the sourcing is the treasure hunt. It is so fun. It is why I'm in this job. It is so cool. But listen, if you have 1,000 stellar pieces of inventory in your home, then unless you list them, you have 1,000 stellar pieces of inventory in your home. That 1,000 pieces of inventory, if you sold them for just $5 a piece, that is a $5,000 increase in your 90-day total. If you sold it for $10 a piece, that is a $10,000 increase in your 90-day total. And most people's average sales price over on eBay is much higher than $10. The average sales price on eBay is about $30. So if I listed 1,000 items at $30 a piece, you can do the math here, right? I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. The truth is, the only way to sell those items is to list those items. If listing sucks for you, then you're sourcing the wrong stuff. Stop sourcing stuff that you hate to list. Let's just say that you're like me and you hate to list, you hate to clean dirty tennis shoes. What sense would it make for me to go to Goodwill or go to the thrift store every single day and buy an entire cart of dirty tennis shoes? I know I'm not going to want to clean those. So for me to buy something like that, I am literally sourcing for my death pile. Stop sourcing for your death piles, source for your sales. Buy things that you wake up excited to list. This estate sale that I just went to, I was so excited about the 107 items that I bought that I actually woke up this morning just hungry to go list those items. I cannot wait to sell them. But again, if I had bought 107 pairs of dirty tennis shoes, then I guess they would be living in my closet for the next year. I would have zero desire to clean those or to list them. Ensure that you have a good listing station and a station to photograph items. Nothing can halt your productivity more than the lack of a productive workspace. So ensure that you have those stations. I've covered that in a video as well, in the same video about how I list so much. Ensure that you have stations ready. When you are ready to photograph something, you don't have to rework your entire space just to be able to do that. It doesn't take a whole lot of space, just a poster board and maybe a board around that as well. You know, if you're keeping no other space clean, keep that space clean that you were able to list the items, because sourcing items is only a small part of this game. There is actually no reason why a shampoo bottle says to repeat. The manufacturer is just encouraging you to use more of the product. I want to encourage you to move more of the product, so my last step is very, very simple. Repeat. Repeat the process of listing more than what you're comfortable with every time that you feel yourself falling into a rut. More than anything, we need to realize that listing consistently and listing daily is less about feeding eBay's algorithm and more about supplying the buyer. There's a resale shop in my town that opened recently, and I was in there on like the first week, maybe one of the first days that they opened, and I was able to buy things. I loved the items that they had, and when I went in the next week, most of the items were the same. I went in on week 3 and most of the items were the same. Save for a few large pieces of furniture that had sold, none of their inventory had turned over at all. I've all but stopped going in there because nothing seems to change in their store. If I didn't want those items on week 1, what's the likelihood that I'm going to want them on week 4? We need to look at our stores very much the same way. Now, I understand that there are particular items that's value are just so high, they're worth hanging on to for 12, 18 months at a time, but most items we need to aim at turning over a bit quicker than that. You can't have an entire store full of items that take 18 months to sell. So if most of us agree that sourcing is the most fun part, then most likely you have inventory to list. List it and sell it, and refuse to become complacent, and follow people who are where you want to be. Surround yourself with positive people that are going to encourage you in your business, and get rid of the negative Nancys. There is always going to be a voice to tell you that whatever platform you're on sucks, that the buyers aren't there, that your merchandise is lame. Like, block out those voices. You are going somewhere. You understand what I mean? No negative Nancys allowed. And when you get to where you're going, turn back, extend your arm, and help the next person. That is the entire purpose of this channel. I've told you guys before that I learned 100% of reselling from YouTube. I learned it by mistake at a time that I wasn't even looking for it. My hope is that my channel could reach someone in the same way. So I'm always aiming at my videos to be educational and informative in a way that gets you where you want to be in your reselling. I'm hoping that this video did just that and is going to encourage you and motivate you and give you the tools that you need to increase your 90-day sales. I can't wait to see what my 90-day sales could be in another 90 days, 6 months from now, a year from now. What am I going to be celebrating in my business because I refuse to be complacent today? Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Remember that you are so much more than average. You are bringing such a uniqueness and such a light into this world of reselling and into your business that absolutely no one else can give, okay? And I want you to breathe that life into your business today, and 90 days from now, check in. Tell me how it's going. I cannot wait to see the ways that you guys are growing. I just want God to richly bless your business and bless you. Thank you so much for watching this, and remember, treat your business like your business.
Alrighty.